Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that this video finds you well wherever you are. Kindly let me know where you are watching from. I like interacting amicable with the friends who are watching the channel. The situation in my country today is very precarious because with every second the political situations keep on changing. Barely 3 days after Raila held a mega and a large demonstration in Nairobi with running battles between his supporters and the police. Things have happened so rapidly that we don't know. It is like we are in the middle of nowhere. One, the Kenya Kwanza team has suggested that William Ruto should move with speed and apprehend Raila Odinga and lock him in cells. And they should also go and arrest the former president Uhuru Kenyatta and even go after their assets and their bank accounts, ostensibly because they feel that the former president is the one who's responsible for sponsoring the demonstrations. That is not enough. The Kenya Kwanza team had earlier on written a letter to the foreign diplomats, to the international community, demonizing Raila and accusing Raila Odinga as a hooligan who presided over a demonstration that led to his people, breaking into shops and breaking people's vehicles and just destroying property. But that did not last long. Raila Odinga's team also did a chilling counter letter, and they explained to the foreign diplomats that they were demonstrating within the law because there is freedom of picketing in Kenya, entrenched in our sacred constitution. And if you ask anyone, they will tell you that Raila has been at the forefront of fighting for a new constitution. So with that, there is a lot of confusion. Everything is hanging in a loose balance. We don't know because now the foreign diplomats have got two letters. The good thing is that they were all in the country when this was happening. And I remember BBC and the CNN and all the Al Jazeera and all the international media focused on the demonstrations in Kenya. And they saw, unarmed, innocent Kenyans going about their demonstration as entrenched within the constitution, and the police threw tear gas and broke every rally where Raila tried to speak to his people. So that is where we are. But the question I want to ask those who have followed the Kenyan politics, when someone like majority leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, rallies a number of Kenya Kwanza team, and they invite a press conference and say in public that they want or they would urge the president to arrest Raila Amolo Odinga. Do they have the best interest of President William Ruto at their heart? That is my question. Do you think these people want William Ruto to succeed or to fail? Because if you ask me, I'm now beginning to think that there is a consortium of politicians and some businessmen who want William Ruto to fail. And they are his allies, those who sit next to him. How can you explain the imagination, the wildest imagination, that a president can arrest Raila Odinga? At the height of heightened political temperatures, just within a day, you saw the Raila supporters, how willing they are to go to the extent of protecting Raila. Because someone was telling me that when that water cannon was throwing water to the Raila motorcade and that convoy, and they were throwing tear gas, that the reason why the ordinary man and the Azimio supporters were there, in their own heart, they knew they were protecting Raila. Whether they can succeed in protecting him or not, in their mind, they knew they were there to protect Raila. Even as we speak today, the announcement by Kimani Ichung'wah and the team that they consider to arrest Raila has brought a lot of undertones. There is a lot of anxiety and tension unnecessarily within the country. William Ruto should be very careful because the buck stops with him. The political undertakings that have transpired within the past few weeks has brought the international community, the international media, watching very closely what is happening. Remember in 2007, it is not lost on us that people fought, and at the center of it was William Samoei Ruto. It is in his backyard in Rift Valley where people fought. They were in Hague together with the former president. Thank God they were released. But it looks to me that if we are not careful, some of our leaders will end up at the Hague. Because I have seen two camps. In Raila Odinga's camp, there are voices of reasoning who tell Raila Odinga that for the sake of the nation, we can speak to William Ruto. And I know there are some hardliners who are saying that we cannot talk. And at the center of it are the supporters who are saying that it is our victory or nothing else. In fact, they're even arguing that should Raila chicken out or decide to shake hands with William Ruto, they will continue with the fight for justice. In William Ruto's camp, the majority are hardliners, people who have buried their heads in the sand, and they are drunk with power. They are even confused because they feel that Kenya belongs to them. They have announced that this country is a company, a Kenya Kwanza Limited company, that only those who voted for them have got the right to benefit. And they are saying that you cannot criticize the government because according to them, when you criticize the government, the police should be unleashed to you. They should unleash terror. I have seen a few voices, just maybe Sakaja, and a few Catholic bishops who are telling William Ruto that you need to talk. Leave alone the M-Pesa bishops, the hypocrites, who have been bought by the Kenya Kwanza regime, and yet they still want to pretend to be neutral arbiters. They cannot. And this is the reason I'm saying that some of our leaders will end up in Hague, and some of the leaders who are around President William Ruto do not want him to succeed from what they're saying. Now it is indicated that the forces themselves are divided. There is a lot of tension even within the forces because you all know that there are forces who are still loyal to the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. There are those who are still loyal to Raila Odinga. I have stated here all along that the constitution dictates that the forces salute to President William Samoei Ruto as the commander-in-chief. But deep down their heart, they swear their allegiance to another person. They understand the situation in the country, and it is not very easy to deal with them. So when Kimani Ichung'wah advised the president that he should move ahead and arrest Raila Odinga, I understand because we get some classified information that the forces, there are some who are not at ease with those statements because they feel that such a move will result in bloodshed, bloodbath. The moment you arrest Raila Odinga, the supporters will come out in large numbers and the police will try to meet them with such brutality as never seen before. And you know what will happen. William Ruto should not allow himself to go down in the abyss of history as the president who presided over bloodbath in Kenya. Where Ruto has found himself is not a unique situation. Mwai Kibaki found himself in the very situation. And William Ruto, I don't know why he forgets so fast. He was with Raila Odinga when they insisted that they won. But for the sake of the nation, there were talks, push and pull, and William Ruto on the Azimio side had a very hardline stand. Martha Karua was on the other side of the PNU with Kibaki. She also had a very strong stand, and he stood firm that Kibaki won and there was nothing like even sharing power. And he should have learned from the very history that he was at the center of. Uhuru Kenyatta, when they were together with William Ruto, found himself in the same situation. But for the sake of the nation, they had to soften their hearts and their stand. William Ruto should not think that he's so adamant, so tough, that he cannot soften his stand. There comes a time when he has to remove those hardliners around him. I know they keep on telling him that he should not be intimidated, but for the sake of the nation, he will have to calm down. If he doesn't calm down to talk willingly, he will be forced, because tension is building. Kenyans continue to go hungry. They are willing to go out in the streets. Even those who voted for him are saying that it is the right thing to do, to go and ask questions. He keeps on making appointments to an already bloated cabinet, and they pass resolutions that continue to anger Kenyans. Right now, they have passed that there are billions of shillings that are going to use to buy vehicles to the office of the chief minister and the deputy president and their spouses. They have also decided that they passed a law that will allow the government or to sell public companies without consulting the parliament, and this is a recipe for disaster. William Ruto should not go the way of destruction. He's a human being, and he knows very well that those who humbled themselves like Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta were not less president. It doesn't make you weak to come down and talk. And I'm telling you, when the forces are divided, it is sitting on a time bomb. It will explode, because this means that they might decide to send some forces on the ground and they will rebel. These are the situations and the times when the forces decide that they have taken power to themselves because they don't want to be used to injure innocent Kenyans. William Ruto is a man who goes to church, and I'm wondering why the same face that I see in church is not the same face that is replicated in the actions. What I see is a replica of Museveni, and I see Ruto as just another Museveni, a civilist Moi, a man who thinks in terms of a one-party state. This is not the right way to go. And if Kenya is to move on, William Ruto must change tactics, because otherwise things are going to fall and crumble on him. I don't know what you think, but this is my take.